What are the government policies were maintained even when the government changes?
I do not think there are any state policies in Turkey. I see that there are founding principles of the state. This means these are enshrined in the Constitution. And what are those? You know, that it is a republic, it is a democratic state, separation of powers, human rights, rights and liberties and all that. It is a state with it's a nation state. It's the state of the Turkish people. And according to our understanding, anybody who is a national of the Turkish state is a Turk. So it is not an ethnic state, but a state of people who believe in the same nation. So I do not believe that there are state policies or government policies. Governments set the policies in accordance with the Constitution, and the only things, as I said, which do not change is certain parts of the Constitution, the founding principles, and also the agreements and the treaties we have signed with other nations. So I do not see that there is state policies and government policies. We can only talk about government policies in Turkey.
Okay. And how is the relationship between the press and the government?
In every country, I think, there is some kind of a, shall we say, struggle between the government and the press. As you know, there are three actors in this. It is the press, the government, and the public. The press wants to have freedom of press. The government has to be transparent. It has to share information with the public. And the public has the right to know what is happening. So we have to set up a system in which the government will share information about its policies with the people, and the press will be able to report these. And the press, at the same time, will be able to report as it pleases and as it sees right. And the people have to have the right to be informed about what is going on. In Turkey, the situation is such. I think we have made great progress in freedom of press since the 60s or the 70s. And we can talk about a free press in Turkey. This has a lot to do with our continuing negotiations with the European Union. And we are, I think, at par with European Union countries when it comes to freedom of press. Are there issues? Yes, there are still issues, which mainly has to do with certain subjects. First of all, religion. You have to be very careful when you are writing about sacred issues. The second thing, I think, is incitement to violence. Every country has certain sensitivities. In Germany, it's Nazism, because they do not want to go back to the same times again. And in Turkey, we have problems with separatist organizations. And that is the reason why the Turkish government is sensitive when freedom of press is used to incite violence for separatism. But when you take these two subjects out, I think we can talk about freedom of press in full in Turkey.
What's your country's position with respect to nuclear energy?
Turkey thinks that every country has the right to nuclear energy. And we also think that every country has the right to enrichment of uranium for civilian uses. So talking about ourselves, we are party to almost all the nuclear agreements which foresees verification, which see transparency, which see non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. That is the reason we support the right of every country for civilian use of nuclear energy. And this has to be done in a manner which is in line with the United Nations principles and also in line with the safeguards which are put together under the IAEA treaties. So as long as there is transparency, as long as there is no, shall we say, veering off to a military use, we support the right of every country to nuclear energy. And in this sense, we have been working in line of these agreements with countries in our region, and we also support a nuclear arms-free Middle East. So there are two aspects of our nuclear policy. Yes, to civilian use for nuclear energy, but no to military use or military activities, nuclear military activities in our region. And this includes all countries in our region.
But the position of your country, it's strategic for that.
It is strategic because the Middle East, as you know, has many problems. And there are sides and there are conflicts. And what we are trying to do is to solve these conflicts through diplomacy. Because we believe that the only way for a sustainable peace in our region, it has to come through diplomacy. We have seen that in the past that there has been numerous wars and none of them has brought sustainable peace.